From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It's been a very windy day across mid-Michigan. Check out some of the numbers. Wind gusts between 40 and 50 miles per hour, with 40 in Lansing as well as Jackson and Alma, 44 in Mount Pleasant, 45 in Grand Rapids. Temperatures are above freezing, sitting in the mid-30s, but with that wind, it feels like it's in the low to the mid-20s. And we're also watching a band of snow that's going to shift through the area as we head into the evening hours, making roads a little bit slippery, but it won't be here all that long. We'll talk accumulations coming up. Forecast for tonight: snow showers and wind on the way as we head towards tomorrow morning. Colder with low temperatures near 20, but there is mild weather and there is rain in the forecast. 6 News at 5:30 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5:30.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's start the clock on our first 6 minutes of news. Our first story tonight: a woman is in jail in Grand Rapids accused of starting a fire that injured her own children. Police and prosecutors say 46-year-old Raconda Singleton started a house fire on Saturday with her 3 children inside. A 12-year-old child is in critical condition tonight from the fire, while a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old were taken to a hospital for treatment and then released. Police have not announced what charges Singleton faces, but they are calling the fire a case of arson. In St. Clair County, 20 to 30 people are without homes after an apartment building caught fire. This happened yesterday at the Bree Manor Apartments. The sheriff's office there says nobody was hurt. A local high school was used as a warming shelter in the aftermath of this fire, and the American Red Cross is helping people find housing. Officials have not said what caused the fire. However, they do not suspect foul play. Tonight, a warning to watch out for credit card skimmers after police in Detroit say a pair of thieves targeted Save-A-Lot stores in the Motor City area. Surveillance video shows how skimmers can be designed to look like real card scanners. Would-be thieves attach them to real scanners, and someone not paying attention could be tricked.
Try to move it. If it comes off, then you know it's a skimmer. If you have a inclination that it looks different, if it feels different, if your card doesn't go in all the way, if it protrudes out, let the store know, let the banks know.
One way to avoid getting scammed is to use the card tap option or just pay with cash. In Philadelphia, someone drove into a crowd of fans celebrating the Eagles' victory in the NFC Championship on Sunday night. 3 people were injured, but no deaths were reported. The crowd was gathered in the Center City area when this happened. Police say they did arrest 1 person, but right now they do not think that the crash was intentional. Tonight, 2 people are dead and 3 police officers and a couple of other people are hurt after a series of events that started with 2 men arguing last night. The Tampa Police Department says the men started fighting at a Dollar General store, and from there, one of them hit the other with a car and then hit other people who just happened to be walking in that area, and one of those pedestrians was killed. Police say they caught up to the suspect as he tried to run away, but when they say he reached for something, the suspect was shot and killed by officers. Officials did not say how the 3 officers were hurt. Also in Florida, a high school principal and a teacher are under arrest tonight, stemming from a house party on January 19th at the principal's home. Officers say they found more than 100 teenagers, alcohol in coolers, and 1 juvenile so intoxicated the paramedics had to respond. A teacher was also at the party and visibly intoxicated, they say. Both now face child neglect and other charges. The school district says both employees are on leave, calling the allegations, quote, extremely troubling, end quote, and reaffirming their commitment to student safety.
One more, not one more.
State lawmakers in Tennessee returned to work today and were met with students protesting gun violence. And this comes after another deadly school shooting in their state. Earlier this month, the high school student entered the cafeteria at his Nashville school and opened fire, killing 1 student and injuring another. The gunman then shot and killed himself. In another Nashville school, 3 children and 3 adults were killed by a shooter in 2023. Students at today's rally say they want protections like red flag laws and more background checks on gun buyers. After a week of deadly and destructive wildfires, people in Southern California are now dealing with mudslides. Less than an inch of rain fell in most areas, but it was enough to loosen hillsides burned bare by those fires. The rain began Saturday after months of dry and windy weather that created dangerous fire conditions. The downpours helped firefighters, but also created a risk of toxic ash runoff. Today was the first day to work for U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Speaking with reporters this morning, Secretary Hegseth said he's immediately prioritizing removing diversity, equity, and inclusion programs from the military and reinstating members of the military who refused the COVID-19 vaccine. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is expected to sign executive orders soon that will ban transgender people from serving their country. We got some global news for you now. Tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians started arriving to what's left of their homes in northern Gaza this morning. Israel opened roadblocks after Hamas agreed to hand over some hostages to Israel. Northern Gaza was heavily bombed by Israel following the start of that war in October. Gaza health officials say more than 47,000 Palestinians have been killed. About 1,200 Israelis were killed by Hamas in the October 7th attack. In Thailand, they celebrated the Lunar New Year today with drums, firecrackers, and colorful performances in the streets. Lunar New Year is primarily a Chinese holiday, but since many people in Thailand have Chinese ancestry, it's embraced there as well. Lunar New Year begins on Wednesday, and this year is the Year of the Snake. Well, back here at home, a Clinton County woman can now call herself a millionaire after buying a scratch-off lottery game for Christmas. The 66-year-old, who decided to stay anonymous, bought the ticket at Ox's Smoked Meats in Westphalia, and she says she was buying scratch-off games for Christmas presents, but also bought one for herself, and that one was the $1 million winner. Congratulations. And to put a lid on our first 6 minutes of news, Michiganders of a certain age might have fond memories of Detroit-made Velvet peanut butter. Well, it is now coming home after being bought by Atwater Brewery founder Mark Reith. The original Velvet was created in Paul Zuckerman's Detroit garage back in 1937. By 1985, he sold his business and it went to Georgia, but Reith says he identifies with Zuckerman, one Detroit entrepreneur to another. David.
Peanut butter.
Do you know? I'd never heard of it.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah.
But I would sure like to try it.
I mean, it says Velvet. That sounds good. I like a smooth peanut butter. So that's
doing one of those food tryouts on the 5:30.
Yeah.
In for
Okay. All right. I'll keep you in mind, David.
Weather-wise, the weather not so smooth. We've got some snow on the way tonight. We'll talk accumulations coming up.
All right. Your full forecast next, and then a little bit later here on 6 News.